Adam Chris from MyMMAnews.com being joined by Doug, the bearded warrior Addison, ahead of his bout against Taylor McMahan. It's coming up at Stellar Fights 44 in just a couple days. I'm here with my man Doug. Doug, big bout coming up, man. The Glory 155-pound title. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go. You know, I'm used to this. You know, this is business for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm at the point now where I don't have to get in shape because I'm always in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's another day. It's going to be a big one.
Right.
Taylor's tough. Taylor's tough. But, you know, hopefully, you know, I get to let you guys see the experience, you know, the experience and skill gap that's between us.
So I'm curious, like you said, Taylor's a tough kid and everything like that. You've faced a ton of tough competition. I mean, you've been on so many cards before. I mean, endless competition in your amateur career. Where does this bout rank as far as where you're at in your amateur career, as far as the importance level? Where does it rank for you?
It's somewhat important, mostly because the last opportunity I had to grab the 155 title, I fell short. So it kind of enlightened me to some things that I had to work on myself as a fighter. But if you're talking about in terms of skill level, in my opponent, it's not really that high. Like, no offense to Taylor, it's not really that high. Some of the people that I've lost to, I've beaten better competition. So in other places. So it's not really that important if you're talking about skill level, but in terms of like a fight that's a good show, it's good. You know, and then in terms of like just the redemption for me, then you know it's important in that aspect. But yeah.
So what will winning this 155-pound belt mean to you? Adding to my last question, you know what I mean? If you get that win over Taylor, you get that belt, what does that mean for you? And, I mean, are you going to keep getting the wins when you're ranking up? You know, where you're going to take the next level to the pro rankings? Where are we at as far as that goes?
Well, like I was saying, you know, the whole redemption thing.
Right.
For me, grabbing this belt, and just in case anybody out there who watches this has saw my fight against Howard Orton a year or so ago, I said it then after I beat him. When it comes to throwing these hands, in Stellar, I am the best at throwing hands. I have not seen anything in Stellar that I couldn't beat. That's why I have no problem, and I'm sure you've noticed. You could ask Brad. I will fight anybody. I always say it in my fights. I will fight anybody. I've gone up in weight. I've gone down in weight. I've beaten people from 170 all the way to 155. And when I transition to professional, I plan on continuing the same thing, applying my skill set and my high ring IQ to every situation and outclassing everybody.
So obviously, like I said, you know quite a bit about Taylor. You've been on the same cards, everything like that. You've seen him around. What have you done to specifically train for him as, you know, while you're getting ready for this fight? Because obviously every fighter's different. I don't want you to give away your, you know, secrets in camp and everything, but what can you take away from his fights that you've applied to training? If anything, really.
Honestly, I can't, there's not really much to take away from his fights because other opponents that I've faced have some of the same holes in their game that he does. So it's basically just drilling for those same holes, making sure that we're taking advantage of every opportunity that he gives us to capitalize. You know.
So I'm curious. Every fighter has their journey and, you know, what got them into it, where they got. And this is the first time I'm getting a chance to ask you, what got you into fighting from the gate, man? It's not shooting baskets. It's not kicking, you know, the goal in the soccer. It's a tough sport, man. What got you into it from the gate, and what got you a top flight? What got you where you're at today, brother?
Well, ever since a kid, I've been into martial arts. I've always, you know, everybody has like that one thing that gets their brain going. You know, I love Power Rangers. I've always wanted to be a Power Ranger. So
I heard that.
I was running around with my friends, you know, kicking, throwing punches and stuff. And then as I got older, I started seeing, like, I was watching Bruce Lee movies, all the kung fu movies, and my dad, he was also into martial arts. But he was military. He was an officer, and I used to ask him to train me all the time. I'm like, Dad, when are you gonna train me? Train me. I'm trying to be a ninja. All this type of stuff. And he was busy. He was doing his thing. He would always tell me I wasn't ready. But then somehow I started coming across different people, kids at school, just friends I randomly met through like my mom's friends, and they all happened to do martial arts, different styles of martial arts. So as I was growing up, I would have them show me what they were learning, and then I would practice those moves every day, and then I would have them spar with me or play fight, whatever. And then when I got older, I joined a dojo, started learning jujitsu, things like that. Took a break for a while, and during that time, I was hanging out with friends. They were talking about top flight, top flight, top flight. And I was like, maybe one day I'll check it out. And what ended up happening is one day I got into a fight on the street, just randomly. And I remember after the fact, I was telling myself, I was like, my sensei would be disappointed in my performance. So right after that, that's when I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go check out this top flight place. I walked in. My first day, I told him, I was like, I want to fight. I've always thought about fighting, but the one thing that kept me from doing it was my mother. She was always like, I just can't, I don't know. I can't see my babies get hit and this, that, and the third. But at this point in time, it's like, it's for me. I don't want to have any regrets. You know what I'm saying? So I walked in there wanting to get back in shape, going the whole martial artist journey and really just see how far I could go with it. If I want to be the best, fight the best type situation.
Man, that's a fun journey. I enjoyed listening to that, and I especially enjoyed listening to your mom and how she felt about it. Now, I got to ask, how does she feel now? You're in title contention. You're getting these wins stacked up. Does she come see you now? How does she feel about your fighting career?
My mother does not come to my fight. She's been to 2 fights. She the first one she came to, I lost. And that's the crazy thing. She can't stand to see me fight, but if I look bad, she was the first one to critique me. She was like, "Oh my God, Douglas, why were you on the cage? Why were you doing that? You should have been doing this." And then, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't want to see it, but then all of a sudden you're my coach now. She came to my second fight, and I dropped that guy. It was a bigger guy. I dropped him. I won that fight. Very decisive. She was proud, and ever since then, like, she's never been to a fight, but she loves to hear about it. Whenever I have one, she'll always call me or text me and ask me, how did the fight go? Right. She wants to know what happened, but she can't watch. She just can't.
Respect. I mean, no mother wants to see their baby get hit. I mean, win, lose, or draw, I get it. So we'll move along, man. I want to ask, closing it down, how do you think you're going to get the win, man? How do you think you're going to get that belt, and how do you beat Taylor McMahan at Stellar Fights 44?
In a nutshell, pressure. It's pressure. It's
gonna be a pressure fighter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pressure game. The thing is, I had to be turned into a pressure fighter because I was kind of like a mover. When I first started out, I was more so a mover in and out. But sometimes that could be the exact reason why you lose a fight, even if you clearly are outstriking the guy. You have like slick movement. If they're constantly coming towards you, it might swing the other way just because it seems like you're doing more running than fighting. So, my coaches developed a sort of killer instinct in me, and then because I love Muay Thai so much, I started to develop that whole march him down type of aggression. And then now with the skill set that I've developed over the years, it just plays to my favor.
So that's it. No knockout. No, you don't want to call your shot.
Look, I don't want to predict it, but if it comes, I'm going to get it. If I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it.
All right. Any final words, man, for Taylor, Pretty Boy McMahan? Anything you want to say to him before we get into the bout? Because Couple days away, man.
You know,
Close down.
I mean, may the best man win. I have no ill feelings towards the dude. He's a cool guy. I'm cool with his coat.
Sorry, fans, we got cut off briefly, but we are back, and so I'm going to leave it back to my man, Doug Addison. Doug, any final words for Taylor?
Not at all. Taylor, good luck on Saturday. Like I said, we're pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? It's mutual respecting. We're cool with his coach, so there's no ill will, no ill feelings. You know, may the best man win. You know, good luck.
Awesome, man. And also, I want to ask any shout outs for any sponsors, your gym, your coaches, man. This is it's a big fight for you being your title fight. I just want to get as much exposure out for the people that support you as possible. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I want to say shout out to Stark Energy. Also, shout out to Top Flight. You know, Team Lloyd Urban all day, man. It's gonna be a big one for us. We've been doing big things 2019. 2020, we're gonna continue to do big things.
All right, man. Doug, I appreciate you taking the time, man. I'm really looking forward to this fight. It's interesting because, you know, Stellar Fights being a predominantly MMA promotion, if there's going to be a kickboxing bout that takes the main event, this is the bout to do it. And, oh, man, I get to sit there front and center, bro, and I am excited. So I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
There he goes, Doug, the bearded warrior Addison, ahead of his bout at Stellar Fights 44 against Taylor McMahan. It is going to be fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get your tickets and make sure you are there at the Delaware State Fairgrounds this Saturday, November 23rd at Stellar Fights 44. For Doug Addison, I'm Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to mymmanews.com for all your fight news needs.